Hi, this is George LeMieux, Chairman of the Board of the Gunster Law Firm, and we're here on Gunster's View from the Top with the Chief Judge of the 17th Judicial Circuit for Broward County, Florida, Chief Judge Jack Tuter. Chief Judge, welcome and thank you for spending some time with us today.
Senator, thank you, and thanks for the invitation.
This has been an extraordinary time. I know that you and your staff has been working overtime to try to run the court remotely in extraordinary circumstances. So tell us a little bit about when the courthouse shut down in terms of physical appearances, and then what you all have been able to do to administer justice in the meantime.
We shut down more or less March 13th for face-to-face contact inside the courthouse. A few days lingered after that with a first appearance court, but then someone gave a scare there, so we shut that courtroom. So we've been shut down since mid-March. We went immediately with some help from the Supreme Court to the Zoom platform. I saw some statistics this morning. We conducted 10,300 hearings so far, and we've had 233,000 participants. So that just gives you a kind of a window into how busy the circuit is, even under these extreme circumstances.
Well, we've been participating in those hearings and they've been going great. In some ways, they may be better than being in person. So we thank you for making that available to us and our clients. I know that the concern about jury trials and bringing in a jury panel is a big one, and the Chief Justice of the Florida Supreme Court has been working with all of you chief judges around the 67 circuits to figure this out. So tell us a little bit about what you think about when jury trials will return in person, and then what you're doing. I know you've been leaders here in Broward County doing some prototype Zoom jury trials.
Well, we had a chief judges meeting last Thursday, and one of the point was there's 20 circuits and 67 counties. So all the chief judges, the 20 chief judges went around. Several circuits tried to move into what's the Chief Justice has it in a work group kind of set up in phases. If you do this through phase one, you get to go move to phase two, etc. So several of the circuits had moved to phase two. They had been in phase two for all of 4 days, maybe 5 days, and they've all now moved back to phase one. The Chief Justice has been quite adamant that if we're starting to invite jurors back into these buildings, we need to be sure that we've taken care of healthcare risks. And certainly the three large counties down here are still struggling with the virus. So the foreseeable future with juries in our circuit and Dade County circuit for sure, it could be the end of the year. It could be into next year. I just don't see the forecast of us saying to a stranger, we're going to order you to be in a courthouse, but if we have an outbreak on the 8th floor or the 2nd floor or the 3rd floor or whatever the situation would be, I think the decisions are going to be harder once we reopen if we have an outbreak or we have someone come in and test positive. So that's a real problem. I task our administrative judge staff to look into how we could do a jury trial by remote means. And again, I'm talking in civil. Criminal cases, they're just a different animal. You have to have the ability of the lawyer and the client to be next to each other and communicate with each other. You just can't really do that successfully unless the person's maybe out of custody. So we have done a series of 5 mock trials in civil. The Abota people helped us do the trials. Our last effort was a couple of weeks ago. We summoned 120 people like we would in any other jury pool. 55 of them showed up for jury selection, which is a good number, relatively speaking. And we did an actual voir dire. And I wrote an article subsequent to that I'm firmly convinced in the right cases, we can do this. So I think the lawyers and their clients are going to have to struggle through. Are you willing to wait another year, maybe more, to get a jury trial? Or do you think you have a kind of case that could fit into this mold and be tried? I'm firmly convinced. There are some cases that can't be. A lot of document cases aren't good for Zoom, but PI cases, small contract cases, I firmly believe it can be done. And I think the longer they wait, the more this is going to pile up. And we've got hundreds of criminal cases already waiting. I think Judge Murphy has 13 murder cases waiting. So this is going to back the system up a while on due process cases.
Do you expect that you're going to assign judges from other divisions to handle those criminal cases when you get back up and running?
We have plenty of judges. You know, it's just going to take hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jurors.
I see.
And so the judges are all kind of anxious to get back to work really in the courthouse, especially in criminal, because they can't do a lot over Zoom. But it's going to be the jury pools that are going to be put the demand on the system.
And on those Zoom jury selections you did, and then I guess some Zoom trials, were those binding decisions or were they?
No, they were a complete hypothetical. Abota picked a fact pattern of a real case, but plugged it into our system, and we actually did a jury in the voir dire, which was interesting. We got feedback. After they picked the jury, we held all the jurors there and asked them questions about the system and would they prefer this to others. I think what you said when we entered is the most compelling. Once you get onto Zoom and you get comfortable with it, and you see the ease of it. I mean, we had 135 people at a luncheon I was just at just now. Well, you might have 30 or 40 in a similar luncheon, but it's the ease of it that I think is going to compel people once they get used to it and see that there's no disadvantages to it. We fully intend to use Zoom when we reopen and offer it to the lawyers. I mean, you got a choice. You want to go to the Coral Gables courthouse in a driving rain at 3 o'clock, or jump on this video and be off in 30 minutes.
Well, that's good to know that that's going to continue. When do you think you might have a binding Zoom trial?
Well, Abota is pushing their members to find the case. Lawyers, in my article I wrote, we're prone to old processes, right? I mean, we have kind of systems that have been in place for 100 years. And so I think there's going to be some need to nudge people along. I mean, part of it is you're going to have to waive some of your rights on the appeal as far as the Zoom process, not the evidence and all of that. So that may cause some apprehension. I hope we're going to have a case in a couple months that I think if not a couple months, it'll certainly be early next year, because people are going to see that we are so backed up and they're not going to get a jury for, could be a year in civil, that somebody will come along and say, I'll be the first guinea pig.
Are you seeing more litigants going towards opting for a bench trial now because the jury trial is not available?
I haven't seen that in my division. Of course, I have complex business, and a lot of my cases are non-jury anyway. So we have been doing non-jury trials in my division. We've been doing valuation hearings. Almost everything I can do in a courthouse except seating a jury, I can do on this platform and do easily. We have been pushing in county court and the cases where we make kind of internal mediation a requirement. We've set all those cases for internal mediation. They're all being done on Zoom. We haven't let up with the civil cases to let people out of mediation. They still have to mediate on Zoom. There's some qualifications on that. So we've been trying to push running this court system the same way we're running it, with it open, without everybody just being in face-to-face contact.
Well, we really appreciate the caution that you're taking too, because we know that the courthouse is a place where people gather from all walks of life, from all parts of the county, and if all those people convene, and someone spreads the disease, it could really aggravate the situation. So, on behalf of the bar and our clients, we really appreciate the fact that you're taking a cautious approach.
Well, the sheriff estimates about 2 million people come into the courthouses every year. Thousands of people come in every day, and it's a different group of thousands of people. And they're not for the most part there because we said, come on and visit us at the courthouse. They're being ordered to be there. They're either in a case or they're a defendant. And so I think you have to exercise more caution when you're ordering people to be in that kind of an environment.
Well, we thank you for your good efforts. We thank you for being on Gunster's View from the Top, and we hope we get to see you soon in person, once this all passes.
All right, we'll jump in for lunch, maybe April of next year then, Senator, if that's okay.
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Take care.